Hi, my name is Lon Welsh at Your Castle Real Estate, and I want to talk about the real estate market in Denver. We have one video that talks about the entire market, and then this particular video talks about the homes and condos between $300,000 and $500,000. So if that's where you're thinking about buying or selling, this will probably be the most relevant one for you to watch because this material is very highly customized to your needs. If you take a look on the left, this shows you the number of showings per active listing. The dashed line that's purple on the top is the 2019 performance, and then the solid blue line is the performance for this year. So you can see for the first couple weeks of March that we actually had more showing activity per listing this year than last year. And then as the headlines got congested with a lot of negativity from COVID and the stock market took a big dive, you can see the back half of March and then April, the showing traffic virtually dried up. For several weeks, we were not even permitted to bring potential buyers into homes. Many of those restrictions are now lifted, and it's as if the buyers were at the starting line of a race and the starter gun went off and they all went out immediately to go see homes. So you can see the showings per active listing have recovered very, very dramatically just in the last 2 or 3 weeks. On the right-hand side, you see the number of new listings being added, and you can see that for March, we added more listings this year than last year. So the inventory was growing a little bit, giving more selection to the buyers. And then you can see through April, with all the negative headlines and many buyers just not being permitted to even look at homes, a lot of sellers said, you know what, I'm not gonna list right now, there's really no point to it, or I don't want people going through my house right now, so the number of new listings was quite small. The first 2 weeks of May, you can see that that's reversed. We're back almost to the same number of new listings entering the market as we had last year. The difference between those lines, though, is that the number of new listings through this whole time period is somewhat less than we would normally expect. My estimate is that the back end of May and most of June, you're going to see more new listings than typical hit the market to make up for the listings that didn't come on the market back in April. So if you have been looking in the 300 to 500 range, you haven't found what you've liked, you'll probably see quite a lot of new inventory coming on soon, and there should be more things for you to choose from. I think you're going to find this is going to look an awful lot like spring did in the last couple of years, where the more attractive properties that are priced correctly probably will sell pretty fast, often with multiple offers. So all the tools that you and your realtor have developed to deal with that sort of market are probably going to apply quite nicely. This slide, if you take a look on the left, is the number that went under contract by week, and you can see that for the first 4 weeks of March and the first part of April, we put more homes under contract this year than last year. This market segment is actually the strongest of all of them in the Denver market. You can see that for the 3 weeks of April, the number that went under contract is quite a lot less than what we had last year, primarily just because we weren't allowed to show the homes, and it's tough to buy a house if you can't see it. Since the showing restrictions have been lifted, you can see the last 2 weeks, the under contract activity has been very strong, actually outpacing what we saw last year. I expect that you're going to see that for several months, making up for all the sales that didn't take place over the last couple of weeks. Finally, taking a look on the right-hand side, this is the number that were closed by week. And you can see that for March, very similar performance between 2019 and 2020, but for April and the first part of May, we're running about half the number of closings. So the metric that you want to watch is the number that are under contract. There's about a 3 to 5 week lapse between going under contract where they finally get across the finish line and close on the deal. So you can see that the number under contracts has been very strong for about 2 weeks. So we have another 1 to 3 weeks before we see a really large uptick in the number of closings. Probably the tail end of May, first part of June. So if you're thinking about buying, definitely start taking a look now. If you're not pleased with what you find, wait a couple weeks, you'll see more inventory. If you're thinking about selling and perhaps trading up, excellent time to be a trade-up seller because there should be a large audience in this price band of people who will want to buy your house. And as you'll see on some of the other videos, if you look at the more expensive price buckets, it's more of a buyer's market, and you've got the advantage of the interest rates definitely being in your favor. Great time to be a trade-up client.